Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special Pittsburgh Steelers report. My name is Claude White, and let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of talk about Big Ben Roethlisberger, how he threw both the rookie receiver James Washington and Antonio Brown under the bus yesterday. And Ben doubled down and said that, I've played 15 plus years. I've earned the right to criticize, blah, blah, blah. Listen, if you're a real Steeler fan, this is nothing new. Big Ben Roethlisberger has always thrown his teammates and his head coach and other offensive coordinators, well, especially Todd Haley, the last offensive coordinator, he always throws these individuals under the bus. He never, and rarely ever, takes responsibility for anything that goes wrong with the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. And to be quite frank, I'm sick of it. I mean, let's keep it 100% here. In Big Ben Roethlisberger's time as a Pittsburgh Steeler, he has never been the leader of this franchise. Now, has he been a very productive member of the Steelers? Absolutely right. Is he a two-time Super Bowl champion? Absolutely. Did he have the greatest 2-minute drill in the history of the Super Bowl? You can easily make that argument. In fact, I do lean towards that, especially that particular throw. That throw to Santonio Holmes, in my opinion, is the greatest throw in Super Bowl history. That being said, he has never been a true leader. He has never been a guy who has led by example. He has never been a guy who has uplifted his teammates. He's never been that guy. If you want to look at the true leaders of the Pittsburgh Steelers during Big Ben's tenure here, it's been on the offensive side, it's either been somebody like Hines Ward, it's been a Jerome Bettis, it's been to a lesser extent an Alan Faneca. Even today, Marquise Pouncey is more of a leader than a Big Ben Roethlisberger. Now, if you're talking about leading by example, now, ironically, the two hardest workers on the Steelers coming into this season were Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. Those two work ethics are without question the strongest on the team. They were without question, but of course, the Steelers decided to a man to throw Le'Veon Bell under the bus. Very few of his teammates had his back. And I think that the Steelers might pay for that before this season is over. Listen, I'm rooting for James Conner, don't get me wrong, but if you're a Steeler fan, you have to be concerned by the way that James Conner has played over the last 3 weeks. Now, ironically, Conner was one of the few players that Big Ben did not throw under the bus. And I'm curious as to why he didn't. I guess it's because it would make him look bad considering how he threw shade at Le'Veon Bell throughout this particular season. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, Big Ben Roethlisberger has never been a leader on this Steeler franchise. He's always been more of one of the guys. If anything, the Steelers have done more than their due diligence to cover up for many of Big Ben's misgivings. Do I need to remind people of the rape charge back in 2008? I mean, let's face it, they want to throw up everything else, but they do not throw that up. Now, obviously, Big Ben was never charged with a rape. But still, once you have that allegation, for the most part, it stays with you. Now, do I believe did I believe that Big Ben did this? I have no idea whether he did or not. Now, I'm also not naive to the fact that a lot of women are looking for a payday. And I won't say many, but I will say some, especially when you're an athlete making a 7-figure salary like Big Ben Roethlisberger, who is one of the top 5 to 6 quarterbacks in pay in the NFL. He is a target. There is no question about that. Now, has Big Ben been on the straight and narrow ever since? Listen, he has kept his name out of the news outside of the fact that he continually throws his head coach, his offensive coordinators, and his teammates under the bus. And quite frankly, that's getting tired. It's not fair to his teammates. Listen, if I tell you what, if I'm an offensive lineman blocking for Big Ben, I might let a couple of those 325 defensive tackles take a hit on him. Because you cannot continue to do this to your team. And I understand that Big Ben is having one of his best seasons. But let's face it, that interception to end the game, that's all on Big Ben. There's no way around it. He's been a terrible decision maker every time the Steelers get in the red zone anyway. No one has more red zone interceptions than Big Ben Roethlisberger. It's a fact. Look it up. And listen, I root for him. There's no question about it. His success is vital to the team. And I do believe that Big Ben will play very well this Sunday night against the Los Angeles Chargers. He normally does play well against this team. But I will not excuse what he continually does. And God forbid if he loses this week, it'll be Tomlin's fault. It's everybody's fault but his. Look, Big Ben, shut the fuck up. Take some responsibility, be a fucking man, and play well. That interception at the end of the game, listen, I mean, a Pee-wee League player will not make that move. The route was already jumped anyway. Chris Harris had that locked anyway. Then he obviously did not see the D lineman drop back into coverage. That ball should have been just thrown away. It was only third down. You were in 4-down territory, you dumbass. You should have never made that play. But of course, Big Ben did, and we know what the result was. Listen, obviously, I'm rooting for the Steelers. I'm rooting for Roethlisberger to succeed. But, I mean, this is a tired act, Big Ben. I feel, is one of the last times that we will see this Pittsburgh Steelers team the way it is. Listen, Le'Veon Bell is already out the door. Antonio Brown is on the wrong side of 30. Juju Smith-Schuster is on the way up. But let's face it, this defense, even though it has improved a lot, there's still a lot of holes. I don't think Ryan Shazier will play another game in the NFL. If he does, I don't expect him to be the same player. I just don't. The secondary needs help. Joe Hayden has played extremely well. So has Cody Sensabaugh. But there were chinks in the armor last week. There's no way that Case Keenum should have been able to put up the points that he did against this Steeler defense. The run defense sprung a leak last week. I mean, let's face it. They're missing Stephon Tuitt, and they missed him badly last week. I don't know what Tuitt's status is for this Sunday night. I have no idea. Once I do find out, I will let you know. But let's face it. Big Ben has to play better. He has to be more efficient. When he plays more efficient, the Steelers obviously are a better football team. Now, what the Steelers also have to do is get back to running the football. They have lost confidence in this young man, James Conner, and you can see it. And it looks like Conner has lost a lot of confidence in himself. Listen, he almost cost us the game in Jacksonville. There's no way around it. He was one of the main culprits. That fumble was huge. That was a 14-point swing that he did. We saw 21 points given away by the Steelers. They should have won this game easily against the Broncos. Now, I do not think the Steelers will do this upcoming Sunday, but it remains to be seen how Ben is going to handle the rest of this season. He cannot keep doing this. The Steelers are getting tired of it. You cannot throw the best wide receiver in the sport under the bus, and he's continually done this. He's not going to keep taking this, man. You know Antonio Brown is one of those guys. Listen, he's one of those, he don't give a fuck. I mean, excuse my language, ladies and gentlemen. But he is one of those guys. Now, do I believe Antonio Brown likes it here in Pittsburgh? Absolutely he does. But that doesn't mean he's going to keep getting disrespected by an aging quarterback who cannot shoulder the responsibility that he screwed up. He can't continue to do this. And I'm just looking forward to seeing this game. I do believe the Steelers will win this game 30-24 over the Los Angeles Chargers. I believe Phillip Rivers will play well, but the Steelers will get to him. He is a sitting duck in that pocket. And the loss of Melvin Gordon will definitely hurt him in this particular game. So I'm rolling with the Steelers easily. Well, not easily, but I do expect them to win this game 30-24. Now I'm going to speak on Dwight Howard. This will more than likely be one of the last times that I speak on him. As you know, I've done a couple of videos on him. I've done a video about him being outed, being a bottom, so to speak. And also, I spoke on him being a literal pain in the ass. Now, to that point, Dwight Howard is going to see a nerve specialist either today or tomorrow regarding his gluteus maximus. Now, it could very well be a nerve thing. I understand that. Now, I do have nerve damage as far as my back is concerned also, but of course, I do not take part in the activities allegedly that Dwight Howard has partaken in allegedly. I do not have anything wrong with my gluteus maximus, but I do have a lower back, and I do have a bad lower back, but it has nothing to do with that. But he is going to see a specialist either today or tomorrow to find out what the status is, because if you remember in the very beginning in October, it was not supposed to be a serious injury. He was only supposed to be out maybe about 3 to 5 days, but as you can tell, it's lingered. Now, I don't know how much of that is that he's scared to face the music, so to speak, because let's face it, he has been all over. He's definitely been all over YouTube, and he has been all over the celebrity news. Now, he could be trying to duck out of the limelight there. And I also want to know how much of this has to do with the genuine injury that he has. But we are going to find out one way or another whether he will play this season, how soon he'll play this season, and if he'll be effective. And once I do find out anything, I will provide more news on this with an upload. But with that being said, I am going to have my own NBA all suspect, allegedly, team. I'm only going to do a first team, and I'm only going to do the starting team 1 through 5. Now, at the point guard position, I'm going to have Isaiah Thomas. I mean, do I really need to explain why? And allegedly, when's the last time you seen Isaiah Thomas with a female? I'm just saying. I mean, I've never seen it. Outside of his mother, I've never seen Isaiah Thomas with a female. Never. Now, I do know years ago that there was a lawsuit against Isaiah Thomas for sexual harassment. I believe they settled out of court. And let's face it, the woman that was in that lawsuit, I mean, my God, I mean, she looked very masculine, just to say the least. I forgot the lady's name. I do know that she was in the New York Knicks front office, and this was during the time that Isaiah Thomas was the head coach of the New York Knicks. So I have him as the point guard. Now, at the other guard, even though he could play the point also, and I might get into a little bit of trouble, I have to put Earvin Magic Johnson there. I mean, let's face it. Even Isaiah Thomas allegedly said that he was suspect when they asked him years ago when he had disclosed the fact that he was HIV positive. They interviewed Isaiah Thomas years ago and asked, "Hey, Isaiah, is Magic Johnson bisexual?" And of course, Isaiah said, "Well, he could be." And that's exactly what Isaiah Thomas's words. So, and remember, here's the thing about that. Isaiah and Magic were very close friends in the 80s. Now, they had a falling out in the 90s. Now, if you saw their NBA TV documentary where they did make up, and I thought it was a nice gesture. I thought it was very well done, and I am into Black Unity, but if it's another type of situation, I can't co-sign that, allegedly. So I'm going to have Magic Johnson there. Now, I considered putting Russell Westbrook in there because, let's face it, man, Russell Westbrook wears some outfits, and he has certain mannerisms where, listen, he is highly suspect, allegedly. But I have to go with the two stalwart all-time players in Magic and Isaiah at the guards position. Obviously, we know who the center is. I mean, are you serious? It's got to be Dwight Howard. I mean, especially with everything that's swirling around him, allegedly. I mean, there's nobody else I could pick at the center position. I mean, obviously, you could put the Collins brothers who have come out as homosexual. And here's the thing about that. I mean, you have to at least be able to play well. Those guys can't play. I can't put them on any list. So, obviously, Dwight Howard will be the center on this all-NBA suspect team. Now, the power forward is an obvious choice as well. It is Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman, for God's sakes, remember, wore a wedding dress to his own wedding to Carmen Electra years ago. I mean, we know how Dennis Rodman operates or operated back in the day. Okay? I mean, he definitely said that he was a bisexual man. I mean, there's just no way around it. Alleged. I mean, that's not even alleged. He just came out and said it. So, obviously, Dennis Rodman, the greatest non-center rebounder I've ever seen, has to be the power forward in the all-NBA suspect team. Now, who's the small forward, you ask? Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know there's nobody else I'm going to pick for the all-suspect team than obviously the small forward on the all-suspect team has to be Snuggles Durant. Yes, and I believe is he in the Snuggles. Snuggles Durant is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Say hi, Snuggles. Oh, you little. Oh, man. In fact, you too close, Snuggles. You get the hell away from me, man. I've heard about you and Draymond, allegedly. And I know y'all had a falling out, but, you know, and I've heard you got your bags packed. And Snuggles, come to think of it, Snuggles, I mean, you're a little out of order, Snuggles. I mean, how dare you? You're going to curse at the people who pay good money? I mean, you should be so thick-skinned, where that doesn't even bother you. You're making millions of dollars. You're letting a bunch of clowns in the seats bother you, man? You should be bothered by the fact that I haven't seen you with a female outside of your goddamn mama. I'm just saying, man. I mean, that's a damn shame, Snuggles. Man, what an absolute disgrace you are, man. But what do I expect from anybody that's named Snuggles Durant? So that's the starting five for the all-NBA suspect team. The guards, Magic and Isaiah, the center, Dwight Howard, and the forwards, Dennis Rodman and Snuggles Durant. And this will end this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Claude White. Please like and subscribe. Take care, and God bless.